being a freelance worker is a little unconventional, and oftentimes people in your life don't know what to make of it. So I thought that I would talk about what my friends and family thought when I decided to become a full-time freelance Japanese translator. When I was first starting out as a Japanese translator, it was really a sideline. I was in college, and while I was on financial aid, and I also worked a little bit in the costume shop in the theater department, I needed a little extra money. And so I did a little translating of anime on the side for Discotheque Media. This is like a legitimate company, right? But even then, I found at the time that while my friends and peers thought, wow, that's really, really cool that like you translate anime, because I was also a college student, and it's not uncommon for college students to not really have a job or to have just kind of a little part-time job. So the fact that I was translating some anime on the side was like, made me really super cool to my friends and peers. But to my family, like specifically, well, my dad on the one hand, he was kind of like, why are you wasting your time doing like anime? Like that's not lucrative, that's not, you know, valid translating or whatever. It's like, you should be taking over my business and translating technical German documents. And like in his defense, like if I had taken him up on that offer, I would have had it set. Like I wouldn't have had to look for clients. I would have automatically been making good money. He could have showed me the ropes. He could have like taught me how, like help me brush up on my German and be a good German translator. It's like, I totally could have done that, and I can see from his perspective why he would think that. But also other family members, you know, they'd hear, oh, I'm translating freelance anime. Like, they didn't really understand what that was. It wasn't, I was going to an office and sitting at a desk and receiving a regular salaried paycheck. So to them, and to some other adults, like, adults, I mean, I was an adult when this was happening. It was in my early 20s, but, you know, adults, like people in their 40s or older, they thought like, well, that's not really a real job. It's like, good for you for doing that fun thing, but that's not really a real job. And then in my early 30s, so, you know, many years before now, when I really started making a go at it, I was no longer a college student. I was like, buckling down, okay, I'm gonna really make a go at being a freelance translator, specifically of fun things like anime and games and manga and movies and not technical documents and things like that. Again, I met a lot of resistance. Like my dad would occasionally say, like, why don't you just drop it and move in with me and I'll teach you how to be a German translator of tech stuff. And again, he had a point. It's like I was living in poverty and it was really hard at the start. And if I had taken him up on his offer, bam, I could have instantly had a much better quality of life. But I didn't want that. I wanted it on my terms. And I remember like my aunt and some other adults, and again, by adults, I mean like people that are old enough to be my parents' adults. They also had that mindset of like, what are you doing, wasting your time, spinning your wheels? This is not a real job. You're not earning enough money. But really, it wasn't so much the money thing. It was more like, this isn't even a real job. Like, what are you doing? Translating anime is not a job. But once again, my friends and peers in general, and most of my friends and peers are younger than I am, they were pretty much supportive. They were like, wow, you translate anime? That's cool, even though it was only a little bit of anime from time to time. And even though I had to supplement with choreographing musicals and sewing costumes and other just whatever kind of sidelines I could get my hands on to make ends meet. And I was still very, very poor, by the way. I found though, and this is really interesting, that there was a shift in people's attitudes about my job. And really that shift did happen once I started earning a lot of money. And I hate to say it, but money really legitimatized my work. Once they saw, oh, she is living in an apartment all by herself and paying rent all by herself. Oh, she bought herself a car with her money and paid cash for it. Oh, she, you know, is able to afford a new computer and all these other things. Like, that was when they finally started to get it and started to not necessarily get it as in like, oh yeah, this is a very good job that she has, but they finally understood and I guess accepted, okay, like, I still don't quite get why she's doing this. It doesn't seem like a real job to me, but it seems to be working out for her and she seems to be very happy. So cool. And that is a little bit sad that that's what it took to get everybody to be on board with my career is, oh, well, she's making money. It's like, so then it must be legit. It's sad that that's the mindset we have, that that is what validates a person's career, or that is what makes what I do worthy, I guess. That's what makes me worthy, is how much money I'm earning. But on the other hand, I do see where they're coming from. Like, they do care about me and they don't want me to be destitute and like eating rice and beans every single day like I was to survive. But I made it, and it has been working for me for years now, so yay! If you are a freelance worker, or if you have an unconventional job and your family and or friends and or society doesn't understand it, let me know about that. I'm always interested in hearing about other people's experiences with their weird non-conventional jobs.